You mentioned it a little bit, Haley. So in the accumulation years, you can look at the stock market one way, but when you get to retirement, you need to update kind of that view.
You do, because when you get to retirement, the stock market, it feels much more emotionally charged, because right now, you know, for most people, their investments is a lot where their income is derived from. So they're maybe watching it a little bit more and they're thinking, okay, well, where am I gonna get my income from if the stock market dropped 30% in the March of 2020, right? So it's a lot more emotionally charged. But the important thing is that when you understand your investment plan and how it's supposed to serve you, then you can be a lot more comfortable with the decisions made, and you can be a lot more comfortable through some of the market volatility that we see, because you know that there's some tactical strategies in place in your investment plan that can help you take advantage of maybe some of those dips that we'll see in the market.
Yeah, it's a lot more emotionally charged because the stakes are way higher. The stakes are way higher when you're 60 years old. You need to take income from the portfolio, as opposed to when you're 30 years old. You're 30 years old, you go through a 2008 type scenario where the market's down 37%. You're like, yeah, that hurts, but I still have another 30 years before I need the money. You're 60 years old, you're taking $2,000 a month out of your $500,000 portfolio, and your $500,000 portfolio gets evaporated down to $350,000, and you're year 1 or 2 into retirement, and this bucket of money is supposed to last the rest of your life. There's a big concern with that. And anybody who goes through that experience has huge concerns around that. Just think back to 2008. I mean, everybody here probably knows somebody who was impacted dramatically, who was trying to retire and could no longer retire, who was in retirement and had to come out of retirement because of what their portfolio did, or they had to seriously change their lifestyle because of that portfolio. And it's all because of all of that and the risk associated with that, which is why it's much more emotionally charging.
And when I hear you talking about that $500,000 portfolio that went down to $350,000, I got to think some people at home listening are going, well, I don't want that to happen to me. Is that something that you more heard happen to people? I mean, the families and individuals that we work with, if they've built a plan where they say, no, that's not what I want, theoretically, that's not what would happen to their plan, right?
Well, in 2020 was a great test of exactly that. The number one piece of feedback that we get when we sit down for the first time with a couple and we're talking about their investment plan is they will talk about what happened to them in 2008. And they'll be like, Haley, Loren, we cannot go through that again. We do not want to go through that. We hear that all the time. And so when we build the portfolios custom to what your risk propensity is, how much comfort level do you feel when it comes to risk, or do you want, and then also how much risk do you need to take in your portfolio to accomplish your investment objectives throughout the course of retirement. So we weigh all of that into it, but the outcome is, for most people, is they don't want to revisit a 2008. They want to grow their portfolio, need to beat taxation, need to beat inflation, and then grow atop a little bit as well, and be recession resistant. So we go through a 2020 or we go through a 2008, they don't want to lose 40%, and 2020 was a great test of that, as I mentioned, and people fared really well with their custom investment and retirement plan. Thank you for watching this clip of Retiring Today, and don't forget to subscribe. If you have questions about your retirement plan, take advantage of the complimentary 15-minute retirement checkup phone call.